Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. This is just a quick fire one with a couple of, like I say, quick fire, in one case a prediction, in the other case an observation. So I'm going to be talking about briefly Tory leadership race, Prince Charles, Ukraine, cyber Plygon, and Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan. So let's kick off. A while ago I was going to do a vlog and say watch the date, that was yesterday's date, when Uranus conjuncts the North Node in Taurus, because I felt that could be a significant event. And what do we see happening? Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, suddenly there's a build-up of naval vessels around Taiwan, China's encircling it, the rhetoric is going up, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? You know, is this all just some sort of rouge to get everyone talking and to be a diversion tactic? Is it a bit of dead cat? Is it... You know, because obviously I was always of the opinion that Pelosi and all the Democrats were pretty much controlled by China, or certainly working very closely with China, or as we could say, perhaps it was the project to embolden China and roll out, not embolden, but to create a superpower out of China and then roll out the New World Order through China. So why are we seeing this happening with Taiwan? I'm not sure I fully understand what's actually going on yet. On the surface of it, oh yes, there's tensions between China, but we know much is going on at a far deeper level. But it was interesting to me that this particular date, early August, when Uranus conjunct North Node, we see an uptick in worldwide tension. So as it's going a little bit cool in Ukraine and they're kind of edging off Zelensky and backing away from that, the press is going very quiet on it because it's obvious that it's been lost. It's obvious that Putin has prevailed, as those in the alternate media knew all along, and the media trying to back away from it, but they're trying to rev up tensions in another sector. Next, isn't it interesting that Tom Tugendhat, who was at the Bilderberger meeting along with Michael Gove, has thrown his hat in behind Liz Truss, ensuring that he will get a primary post, probably foreign minister, and as foreign minister, he will be able to escalate things in terms of war around the world. So we know that whatever's going on with Truss, it's probably Tugendhat that is the real power in the background as an attendee of Bilderberger. I think they're all vying for position now. Rishi Sunak has sort of been pushed aside. As they say, the man who wielded the knife never wears the robe. So he's seen by the Tory party as the one that stabbed Boris in the back, and therefore he's not likely to achieve a big position going forward in the cabinet. But we should soon see Michael Gove also moving into a key position. Remember, Liz Truss took a trip to Asia when Boris was being sort of effectively stabbed in the back. So she kept her nose very clean in terms of that. That's why, as I said back in... Well, I predicted Boris would be gone in January. Yeah, my prediction was in January. I said he'd be gone in the summer. I said around about March that Liz Truss would be the Prime Minister. They particularly seem keen on women in the Tory party at the moment, and there we have it. Next bit of news, Prince Charles has been involved in a sort of scandal where he was found to be taking 1.2 million in a kind of donation, whatever how they termed it, from the Bin Laden family. And this was post 9/11. Now, this gets me scratching my head because 1.2 million is peanuts for those people. Even if you live in London, it's possible there's someone in your street with a house that's worth 1.2 million. And if you won 1.2 million on the lottery, not going to get you far. You certainly can't buy a yacht. You can probably pay off your mortgage. You might buy a fancier home, a car, and have a glamorous holiday. But after that, that million's pretty much gone. We're talking peanuts. But then we're told by David Icke and Alex Jones and all these people that the royals are the top of the tree. We're told by even Dr. Zev Zelenko was saying that they are one of the owners of the Fed. We're told by David Icke that the Queen, along with the Queen Beatrix, owns most of the property in Manhattan. So why is Charles going around, with the begging bowl out for peanuts? I'm just wondering if the royals have been already knocked off the top of the tree. I said to you a long time ago that I think the royals are just caretakers for the Rothschild property, and it's the Rothschilds that owns all the so-called royal property, but they just keep them there as frontmen, so the public think, it's the royals, whatever. I think they've already been kind of decapitated in terms of their power in the global elites and their wealth, and that's why Prince Charles is basically running around accepting bribes of 1.2 million, which is nothing, hey? Crazy. Next thing about Ukraine, a lot of you guys will have heard the story about how all over the world, the topsoil is being degraded and there are only 60 soils left. Must be about down to 57 by now. But the soil in Ukraine and Crimea is one of the richest in the world. So if there was a civilization that wanted to survive the apocalypse and need to grow their own food, that would be a great place with which to do it. Plus, there are very rich deposits of uranium under Chernobyl, and that's why Putin is going to make it his priority to get the 2 nuclear sites in Ukraine. So watch for a move on that Chernobyl site. So apparently, I don't know if it was after the disaster or what happened, but there's incredibly rich uranium under there, and Russia would want access to it. So a lot to play for in Ukraine. That's why the elites are kind of fighting over it. And maybe this incredibly rich soil would be why, because farming could continue there potentially. So those are a couple. What about a date for Cyber Plygon? We've all been wondering when that's going to happen. And I note next year there is eclipse in 29 degrees, the fateful 29 degrees, of Aries. And at the same time, Mercury goes retrograde in Taurus. So Taurus is like infrastructure. And at the time of the eclipse of 29 degrees of Aries, which is, I say, quite an unlucky degree, it's a solar eclipse, it's square to Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius represents technology. Remember, as soon as Pluto entered Capricorn, we had the worldwide banking meltdown in 2008. As Pluto enters Aquarius, we are definitely going to see something. Could it be absolute technological and IT breakdown? And could it happen at the time Mercury goes retrograde and there is a solar eclipse in 29 degrees of Aries? Aries would be the kind of panic, wouldn't it, that would ensue if everyone's device went down. There would be hysteria and perhaps even violence, wouldn't there? So that's the Aries side. Taurus side is the infrastructure going down because of the Mercury retrograde, and of course communications infrastructure going down. And Pluto going into Aquarius, total meltdown in terms of information technology. So let's watch next year. The date is the 20th of April when this happens. 20th of April, possible date for Cyber Plygon. Let's keep that in mind, guys. So I promised you quick fire. Good quality, well, I don't know, good quality, that's for you to decide, but intense predictions fast.